South Africa's mining industry is facing its toughest challenge for a generation.
Roughly a fifth of South Africa's GDP, half of our export earnings, and about 1.3 million jobs are ultimately derived from mining.
The challenge for the South African mining industry, including employers, labor, the government, and indeed even the local communities, is to build a sustainable, profitable industry which enjoys widespread legitimacy, especially in the eyes of the people who depend on it.
Modern society cannot exist without mining.
The Chamber of Mines, as the voice of the industry, has embarked on a campaign of engagement with various stakeholders.
South Africa currently mines about 60 different minerals and exports them to over 100 countries around the world. The world economy is recovering. The recovery is fairly unevenly distributed, with the advanced economies still fairly weak, with the emerging economies like China and others growing at a much stronger pace. But we certainly believe the long-term structural features are in place for continued growth in commodity demand. Despite the volatility in the short term, the longer-term drivers of growth are very much there. So just to highlight, my view on the drivers of long-term demand for commodities are driven by urbanization. This is we're expecting, well, the United Nations Population Division has an expectation that another 3 billion people are going to urbanize in the next 37 years by 2050. Interestingly enough, 800 million of those are going to be in Africa. Africa's population by 2050 is going to double to 2 billion people. Significant opportunities inherent in that. In Asia alone, if you take India, China, and the rest of Asia, you're looking at, again, close to another billion people urbanizing. The minerals that are being invested in by the mining companies are the minerals that are very much related to this urbanization and industrialization. All these very technologically advanced cameras, cell phones, lighting, this wonderful building that we're in, etc., couldn't exist without mining. If you wanted to replace 4,000 megawatts of baseload coal-fired power stations in South Africa, you'd have to install 15,000 megawatts of wind turbines, because remember, the wind only blows 20% of the time. And that would be equivalent to building one of these wind turbines every 240 meters between Durban and Cape Town. You can't have wind power unless you've got modern minerals. I guess you didn't even know that a bright smile comes from mining. If you look at the different minerals that are used in something like toothpaste, in makeup, and we can go through the list, almost every item that's in this room in some way or form is shaped or influenced by the mining sector. Our foreign currency earning footprint is very big. We estimate that more than, on a direct basis, it's 38% of total merchandise exports come from mining. We estimate that more than 50% of South Africa's merchandise exports are mining related if you include semi-fabricated and some finished mining products. There are steps being taken by government to put in place the measures that are necessary to enable further downstream beneficiation. But just to highlight, 80% of our steel, 99% of our cement, 30% of our liquid fuels are made locally. Most of our plastics, polymers, etc., and fertilizers are made locally by locally mined minerals. Then we have this concept called side stream beneficiation. And side stream beneficiation is an interesting one. That's basically all the industries that provide goods and services into mining. There's a strong case for South Africa's mining sector to realize better growth potential than it's actually been realizing. Mining matters for the growth, development, and transformation of South Africa.